Hi, everybody. As we go through this next form of a line, I'm gonna try to make as many connections as possible to the old form, with slope-intercept form. So this is just another form, still have a line. Okay, so today you're gonna write and graph equations in point-slope form. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with this one. Paul and Seth know that one point on a line is 4, 2, and the slope of the line is -5. You've seen this type of question. We did this Monday and Tuesday. Paul did the work that we did the last couple days. So he took y equals mx plus b. He put the 2 in for y, the -5 in for m, the 4 in for x, and then solved for b, and then wrote the equation. Seth did something different. Okay, so Seth did he took the 4 and the 2 and put them in here. Y value is 2, so we put it on top. That's what you see here. The x value is 4, so we put it on the bottom, like you see here. Okay, then he multiplied both sides by x minus 4. Okay, and you see what you have down here. So you have -5 times x minus 4 equals y minus 2. And that is actually good. So typically you see it y minus 2 equals -5 x minus 4. So really, point slope form is just a rearranged version of the slope formula. Okay. And so this is actually point slope form. This is an example of point slope form. Okay. Watch this because you will have to know how to do this. I'm going to transform this to slope intercept form by doing the distribution here. So y minus 2 equals -5x, and then -5 times -4 is +20. And then add 2 to both sides, and look what happens. The 2 adds with the 20, and you get y equals -5x plus 22, which matches what Paul got, showing you that these are actually the same equation. So both of those things would be the exact same line on a graph. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to move on to specific examples. A line with a slope of 1/2 passes through the point 3, -2. What form can you use to write the equation of a line? Well, I've got the slope and I've got a point. I'm going to use point slope. What that is this. It's y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Now, a couple things I want you to see. One, it's minus in between the y's and minus in between the x's. It's a big deal because the signs, it kind of seems opposite. So I'm going to put my x value, which is 3, in for x1. And then I'll put my y value in for y1. So I'm going to rewrite this. Y minus, and the y1 is -2. And I'm going to write it like that at first. My slope was given to me, it's 1/2. And then it's x minus 3. Now, do you see the minus negative there? Yeah, of course you do. Okay. I'm going to change that to y plus 2. And I would expect you to do that. But what I want you to see is it looks like +2, but in reality, the y value was -2. And it looks like -3, but in reality, the x value was 3. Okay. So this is the equation of the line in point slope form. Okay. If I wanted to put it in slope intercept form, I could. It would give me a nasty fraction, but I would distribute and then I would subtract 2. I don't need to do that here. Just so you can see that I'm not lying to you. Here's the solution. So there's the point slope form. You plug in what you know. Minus negative turns to plus. Okay. And there's the equation. All right. Let's do another one. All right. This time I didn't give you the slope. You have to find the slope. All right. So you've done this before. Nothing new here. I'm going to do my y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is 1, over x2, which is 2, minus x1, which is -4. Simplify that. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus -4 is 2 plus 4, so 6. Always reduce if you can, so that's 1/3. That is my slope. Now you can take either point. I will take the positive one here. And I'll actually do both of them to show you that it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to do y minus, and what's the y coordinate? It's 3, so the 3 goes next to y, equals, the slope is 1/3, we just found that, and then x minus 2. So that is the equation in slope or point slope form. What happens if I would have chosen the other point? So I get y minus 1 equals, I still have the slope of 1/3, and it'd be x minus -4. But I'd want to rewrite that to x plus 4. Now, these look like different equations. They're actually not. I will actually transform both of them. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm going to show you that they're the same. Y minus 1 equals 1/3 x plus 4/3. 1 times 4 divided by 3 is just 4/3. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So now I'm going to go over here and do 4/3 plus 1 over 1. Common denominator is what I need. So 4 over 3 plus 3 over 3 is 7 over 3. So my equation, final equation here is y equals 1/3 x plus 7 over 3. I'm going to do the same thing with the red one. I'm going to distribute. So I get y minus 3 equals 1/3 x minus 2/3. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do -2/3 plus 3 over 1. Again, I need common denominators. -2/3 plus 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, -2 plus 9 is 7/3. Again, so my final one here is y equals 1/3 x plus 7/3. And you can see that they are the same. That is slope-intercept form. You can stop, if it says write the equation of a line, you can actually stop back where we were at, right here or right here. Okay, that's the answer. I just wanted to show you that if I do keep going, I'll get to the same spot. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to graphing. Okay, so we're going to sketch a graph of the linear equation. All right, so it's in point slope form. How do I deal with this? It's not quite as easy as slope intercept form, but it's not too bad. The first thing you're going to do is identify the point. Now, a lot of people are going to want to say it's 1, -3. No, it's not. They think 1 because they see 1 and they see -3, so they think 1, -3. It's not that. Okay, remember it's opposite of what you see. So I see +1, that means the x coordinate is -1. And I see -3, so that means the y coordinate is +3. So I'm going to put a point at -1, +3, which is right there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on step 1. There it is, -1, 3. So you're identifying the point from the equation, and you're looking at what's connected to x and the opposite of that, and what's connected to y and the opposite of that. That's the point. Step 2, just use your slope like we did with slope-intercept form. My slope is -2/3, so I'm just going to go down to right 3. So down to right 3 from that point that I just plotted. There's my second point. Okay, and there it is. And then you just draw your line, and you're done. Notice that the y-intercept is not a good number. And so that's on purpose in this example because I wanted you to see it's sometimes better to use point slope form to graph, right? There's another one here. Okay. If you want to pause it and try it, you can. What I would, oops, sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this so that it's by ones here. Okay. Identify the point that it goes through. Okay. Hopefully you see that it is 3, -2. Okay, so that's the point right here, 3, -2. And the slope is 1/2, so up 1 over 2. And there's my line. Okay. All right. Word problems. I got a word problem here. An event facility has a banquet hall that can hold up to 250 people. The price for a party includes the cost of the room rental plus the cost of a meal for each guest. Marissa is planning on an event for 75 people. She has budgeted $1,200 for the party. Will it be enough? So what I've got here is a bunch of points. So you got a graph. For 50 people, it would be $725. For 100 people, it would be $1,325. This should look familiar. We did this the last lesson. Let's find the slope. We're wondering about 75 people. That's what we're trying to figure out. So 1325 minus 725 divided by 100 minus 50. So for 50 people more, it's going to cost, I think it's, what is that, $600 more? I think it's 50. A lot of calculator here. That's definitely 50, but 1325 minus 725 is 600. And then divide that by 50, you get 12. So what that means is it's $12 per person. Okay. So if it's $12 per person, let's write an equation here to figure out if she's going to have enough money. Okay. So I'm going to figure out, so I'm going to do y minus, and I'll just take this first point that I did, minus 725 equals 12. That's the slope. X minus 50. Now, 75 people. Will that work? Well, this point slope form doesn't really help me too much here, but it's going to help me get where I need to go. So this equation as it is doesn't really help me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform this by distributing 12x, 12 times negative 50 is negative 600. Add 725. And I get y equals 12x plus 125. Now, what does this stuff mean? Well, it's $12 per person plus $125. What's that $125 for? That's the room rental, right? It says the cost of the room rental plus the cost of a meal. So it's $12 for a meal per person. And so if I have 75 people, 12 times 75, I'm going to put 75 in there. So let me change colors here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to have what's the cost if I have 75 people? But I have to remember the room rental plus 125. So 12 times 75 is 900 plus 125. And you can see that 1,025, that $1,200 is enough. Now you can actually go a step further, okay? If I have $1,200 budgeted, how many people could I invite? I'm going to use this equation to help me answer that. $1,200 is a Y value. I'm going to put that in for Y. And I can figure out how many people I could bring. So I'm going to subtract 125 and divide by 12. So 1,200 divided by minus 125 is 1,075. So I have $1,075 to spend on the meals, which is $12 per meal. So divide by 12. I can invite up to 89.58 people. Well, I can't invite half a person or more than a partial person. So the most I could invite would be 89 people. Can't go above that. So 89 people would be the max I could invite. Okay. So you can see the connection, hopefully, between point slope and slope intercept. They do connect very nicely. Okay. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll spend the beginning of the day tomorrow going over a few questions from the homework. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and stop there. Good luck with your Math Excel, and we'll see you tomorrow.